the home of the do-it-yourself trucker. When everything goes wrong, you got a Redneckanize. Things like that. And then, of course, the only other thing that's different is that there is a law, and we talked about it before. They've now passed it through committee, and they're going to vote on it in the state House and state Senate, where it's going to restrict the rules about whether or not you can sue a trucking company. So they're expecting it to pass, and it's just going to make it harder to have a lawsuit against a trucking company, which as a truck driver, we all like that. The article went, it says a new law expected to protect trucking companies from lawsuits, but potentially leave individual truckers exposed has advanced through committee this week. It says the Senate Transportation Committee voted to advance House Bill 19 on Wednesday morning, May 12th in Texas. The bill would add limits to lawsuits involving commercial vehicles and theoretically lower insurance costs. But here's the catch. Its focus is on protecting large trucking companies, not protecting truckers. I don't know if that's... I don't know who says that. I don't know. Let's see. Let's read on. Let's find out. It says here, it says supporters of the bill argue that the loose laws governing the extent of litigation against trucking companies are inspiring the massive lawsuits. As the plaintiff sees an opportunity to squeeze money out of the successful trucking company, supporters of the bill believe the lawsuits against trucking in general would decrease with the passing of the bill. It says, I am frightened and alarmed at the commercial vehicle litigation environment in Texas, said Luann Wagner, CEO of Texas Auto Carriers in San Antonio, told the committee. It says, we are in an industry that is being unfairly targeted by excessive and abusive litigation. It says, no consumer wants to litigate it. It's our last resort, said Bay Scrogan, director of the Texas Public Interest Research Group. They told the KSAT 12 News. But we have to have the incentive to correct such of those commercial vehicle companies will take their own steps to protect consumers from crashes. They got a bunch of other articles they talk about it, though. It's like motorists join concern over bill expected to protect trucking insurance companies from liability in accidents. It says, if passed, the legislation will require trials to be split in a way similar to criminal trials in Texas. The company would have to be found negligent in a crash before the case could proceed to the second phase. Additionally, a company's safety record could only be brought up in the second phase, where punitive damages would also be decided. Now, see, I understand that. What's going to happen is there has to be an investigation, like criminally. Like, is the trucking company at fault? Okay, before the trucking company would be sued regardless of whether they were at fault or not. And so that was always a concern, because there was a story up in West Texas where the vehicle, a pickup truck, crossed the median and hit the Werner truck. Well, they sued Werner and got like $9 million from Werner. And it's like, but Werner was just driving down the road doing nothing. They weren't, and I don't know how all that got, but that was the case. It got solved that way, and that's how it got reported. So that kind of stuff, we can't be doing that. You can't be suing a company just for being out there on the road. So again, it's a lot of these ambulance chasers where they go after just whatever they can do. I mean, a lot of these ambulance chasers, what they would always say is that if you were walking by a JB Hunt truck and you slipped and you were about to fall, and then you used the JB Hunt trailer to catch your fall, but the trailer was wet and you slipped and you fell anyway, because you grabbed that trailer, the ambulance chaser would want to sue JB Hunt. That's how that would go. So that kind of stuff that's what's silly. And so what this would do is this would create a criminal investigation to where once the trucking company was found that, yes, the accident happened and it was their fault, well, then the plaintiff, the victim of the accident, could say, okay, now we're going to sue you. And that's kind of what this is going. This is what I'm understanding it to be. It continues on. It says, this is not us against them. It's about what's fair, said John Esparza, president of the Texas Trucking Association. I would want my kids and my wife to have the same access to the court and fair trial as what we're advocating for. Committee members voted to send the amended version of the House Bill 19 to the Senate floor. The differences in legislation will need to be ironed out before final votes will be counted in both chambers. If the bill is indeed signed by the governor, it will apply to lawsuits filed after September 1st. Okay, so they didn't really specify why it wouldn't help, why it wouldn't protect the drivers and only the companies. So let's find out. Let's see. There's another article here that got published on March 10th, and it says new Texas law may soon protect trucking companies but not their drivers. I think we talked about this one before. A proposed bill in Texas would protect the trucking companies from the liability of the traffic accidents, leaving the trucker solely responsible. It says the Texas trucking industry has pushed for the restructuring of a state accident liability law, citing the state's current laws as the unsuitable lawsuit environment for trucking companies. The commercial vehicle industry continues to be under attack. The Trucking Association says we're seeing dramatic increases in large verdicts. If the bill passes, it would require the plaintiff to prove that the trucking company was grossly negligent in order to pursue the lawsuit. Otherwise, only the truck driver involved in the accident would be liable for damages. Now, see, well, this is the thing. You can't, when you say only the truck driver was liable for damages, what does that mean? Was the trucking company negligent? Now, see, in my view of the way that I'm understanding it is that if the truck driver was at fault, the company can't be protected, because you would have to, what then's going to happen is they're going to sue the trucking company. The trucking company is going to have to prove that they didn't do anything wrong, which means that they're saying in the other article that all of the trucking company's safety records can't be presented until the second phase, which means, okay, we're looking at this one accident right here. This accident is the trucking company at fault? Is the driver of the truck at fault? Okay, boom, that's done. Now we're going to sue, and we're going to go into all the records of the trucking company, and then we're going to look at the trucking company's functioning history. Has the trucking company skirted the rules or skirted safety in the past? And if they've done that in the past, then they're doing it now, and they're done it in the future. Now you're going to get some money. So that's what I understand it to be. That makes more sense. I don't understand. And it says the driver is the only person responsible. Well, if the driver's not at fault, then they're not responsible. So you can't really sue anybody unless you can prove that somebody was at fault, which means that if you caused the crash, if you're a four-wheeler and you caused the crash and you hit a big truck, you can't sue the big truck if you caused the crash. And that's what kind of what we're all agreeing with. And it seems to me that the ambulance chasers are not. They don't agree with that. So that's the way I see it. And that's the way I'm understanding it. I would like to see it clarified more. Of course, what they always say, the devil's in the details. So, we'll probably never understand it fully. And of course, I argue all the time, the law is, the way the laws are written, the way the law it's interpreted sometimes, it's like, that doesn't make any sense. It's like, sometimes, we always make fun of the law as being like, if you had the talent of arguing a point, then you can make the law sound like it's on your side no matter what, so I always thought that was weird. But again, it all boils down to, I think ethics and doing what's right. And I think there's just too many people that like to take advantage of deep pockets. And there's too many people that take advantage of insurance companies. And of course, insurance rates are going through the roof. Even in the federal infrastructure bill, they're trying to get the minimum requirements raised. Right now, it's at $750,000. I think the current numbers on the table is at $2 million. They've tried to get it changed up to $4 million at one point, and of course, that would just be crazy. And I don't see anybody really supporting that except insurance companies. Because I don't know. It's just the lawyers, the ambulance chasers. Those are the ones that support it the most, probably. In fact, it was a U.S. congressperson up in Illinois or up in Pennsylvania, and they were like a co-sponsor of the bill trying to get the insurance requirements raised up to $4 million. This was back in like 2012, 2013, something like that. This congressman out of like the Pittsburgh area, he was trying to get the minimum requirements raised to $4 million. Well, come to find out, they had submitted a complaint to like the House Ethics Committee because he was a partner at one of these big ambulance chaser law firms. And because he wasn't a sole litigator, because he was in this big firm, that they said, oh, no, he's not, it's not benefiting him individually. It's like, what? So yeah, stuff like that. That's what ticks you off about governments and lawyers and all that stuff, and all we can do is just shake our head and just deal with it, because, nothing's going to change in that respect. We just got to stay educated about it and vote for the people that are going to vote about it. I was reading up and just, kind of drifting off the subject, but politicians in general, you would think, oh, they go to a certain church, or they own a certain company, or they vote a certain way for guns or for abortion. They must be decent people, or they're not decent people or whatever. And then you come to find out they supported bills. They got swindled into supporting, legalizing some form of like sale of drugs, or legalizing some misuse of like machinery or something. It's just, because they get duped into it. They get and the lobbyists, or like you say, the lawyers or whoever. If you've got a talent for arguing, you can argue your point to look good no matter what, whatever point you're getting paid to do. And we can talk about that more later too, because I'm watching some more documentaries about the history of, different things going on in the United States, and it was just eye-opening to me, because different things. You had good politicians that were just getting swindled. And then once they found out they got swindled, it wasn't that they were like, oh crap, I got swindled. No, they were doubling down. They were like, oh, no. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. It's okay to admit that you were wrong, or that you got duped. It's okay. I don't understand why it's not okay to do that. But no, so I love to talk about stuff like that too. That's kind of what I do. I got like those podcasts, or those Audible books or whatever, going down the road, listening to those. It's always great. If you got some kind of deal going on like that, it's awesome. But other than that, as the trucking industry, we just got to get what we got and make the best of it. And I hope everybody out there is staying safe and staying productive, especially in crazy times like this. But you know what? That's what we do here. So I hope everybody is having a great time and listening to us and following us, and watching our videos, or seeing our posts, or like I said, we hope that everybody gets to see us here this time next year at the truck show, and we're hoping to get back there and doing that. But I think we're going to call it a night, and everything looks great, and we did a great job doing it, and I think we had a great time. I'd like to thank everybody that was listening along and everything. Just like I said, give us a call next time. We're here live every Sunday night, 7 o'clock Eastern time. You can call in at 516-387-1733. If you want to be a part of the conversation, just hit 1. And if you want to go check out our videos, you can do that on YouTube. You can get on our website, redneckanize.com, and it has a link to our YouTube channel. You can and please subscribe to that if you haven't done already. And you can view, and then of course like, comment, share our videos. We really appreciate doing that for us. It helps us out. It really, what it does is it helps us get more subscribers when you do like the videos or share the videos. And we're hoping that we can transition over to where we can earn like ad money from the YouTube, or hopefully that get so many subscribers, we start getting that. So we're trying to get that up. So if you can subscribe, we really appreciate that. But like I said, we're here every Sunday night, 7 o'clock Eastern time. We appreciate everybody listening. And until next week, everybody stay safe, stay successful, and keep between the ditches. And we'll see you out there on the road.